see that on here. It's not on the
No.
agenda. We can't do it.
Yeah.
It's been impromptu.
Mhm.
Yeah. All right. So we're here today, Thursday, April 27th, 2023 for the SK Infrastructure Committee. And we're gonna do a roll call. And so I am Commissioner Scott Crosby. We'll just go room to the left.
All right, Commissioner Ryan Dunn.
Erin Hovden.
And Denise Carey.
And absent is Gary Workington and Beth Munns.
And Gary said he couldn't be here, but he was at the infrastructure
Yep.
meeting,
mhm.
so. I think Beth was
And
too.
Beth, yeah, and Beth said she'll be joining
Okay.
late, probably around 12:30. So, and she'll be zooming in. So we'll keep an eye out for her.
And then do we have any citizens or community group comments?
There is no one online and no one in the room.
Perfect. So, and then we're gonna go right into the committee business and can I get, or do we have everyone approve the minute or review the minutes from the last meeting or at home?
I moved to approve the minutes of the March 2nd, 2023 meeting.
Perfect.
I second.
All in favor?
I,
Perfect.
And then you wanted to add something to the agenda?
I do. So I would like to remove myself as a chair of this committee. Not that I don't want to be on this committee, I just feel like there might be someone else that's better fitted to be the chair. So I would like to make a nomination of chair to be Denise Carey. And do we just go straight to approving that or voting for that?
well, someone else wants it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
After second, Karen second.
yeah. Does anyone second?
Seconded. Any discussion? That's a vote, I guess.
All right, and then all in favor?
Aye.
I'll vote for it too.
Perfect.
And then does anybody want to be the vice chair? Want to make a motion for vice chair?
I nominate Karen Hovda to be vice chair.
I'll second that.
Okay, we
Okay.
all
Okay,
agree.
in favor?
All in
Yep.
favor?
Favor?
Yep.
Okay. Great.
Okay, so I'm taking over.
Yes.
So discussion. Okay, discussion on transportation system plan updates. So Ryan and Karen and I were at the infrastructure meeting and we really went over the big thing pretty good, but Scott, I don't know if you've had time to look at it because it would be nice to have your inputs from being from Reliance,
I
but
reviewed some of it and last week, but obviously I wasn't there for the meeting, and so it's pretty hard to like truly fully grasp like
mhm,
all of the different things, but there's a lot.
mhm.
So to I'm really gonna be,
I mean, do you want us to go over it or do you want Melanie to, review any certain part? I did want to let you guys know that I did go through, we were kind of asked because there were like 76
Yep.
projects for the active transportation plan, which was like sidewalk infill and all that. And we were asked to send our top 10 in. I don't know if you guys have, but I sent comments on all 76 of them in because some of them, I kind of grouped them as, some of them I thought were developers, because a lot of them, a lot of the trails are the areas that aren't improved yet. So I thought developers could do that if we had it in our plan. And then a few of them, about 12 were like projects that were just striping, like Sharrows or a new sign pole and those take lots of time and they do take money and they take maintenance. Like if you put a Sharrow down, you aren't done with it because maybe in the next 2 years, you're going to have to repaint it. So but those I kind of put on a public works dawn list. And then I did pick 10 priority ones and I picked some priority twos and then I picked low priorities on like stuff that I felt could wait. But if you could at least go through these and maybe pick your top 10, most of mine were the areas that would help people get to school like
Yep.
down Fourth Street. There are so many kids that walk down Fourth Street and right at that pinch point, which is the bad for even the cars, they have to walk out in the road. And so that I feel like that's a priority. And right now, I don't know if Bill Highland still owns that property, but the guy that owns that, you know, where Iris Bird lived. So where that pinch point is, there's that big property that someone just cleared on the left. Like if you're going up the hill, and he is, he owns a lot of property around here, and he has said to us, he would give us property to make, because the other side is that kind of where the cars go off the cliff down into the person's driveway.
Yeah.
You know, it would
Oh,
be hard. Yeah, I'm
Okay,
talking
yeah.
Fourth. The other side is, you know, undeveloped. So he has said he would give us property to make and so the road would kind of come out, because then you could widen it and not have to widen it on the side. Even that, it's our right of way, those people, but I don't think you could ever get a driveway to that house if that road was widened. So there, it might be a good time to do it because he's gonna develop, but
I would be definitely for that. My biggest fear, I know that we have infrastructure right there.
Mhm.
like at the
yeah, see
driveway,
that. Mhm.
And that's like, it's a big deal.
But if we went the other side of the road,
Yep, the other side for sure, but
Mhm.
we have like a fiber cabinet in there where it
Mhm.
feeds 400 some homes.
mhm,
To move that into, like, that would be. very
there's a
difficult.
telephone pole right there. That's why it would be nice for you to look at this, and just even if you don't pick 10, but note the ones that would be, you know, really hard for you guys to move something,
Sure.
so.
So the
But-
fiber box, that box is on the uphill side going up.
Yeah, it's on the north side of the road. So it's on the hillside.
Uh-huh.
side of the road.
It's on that side of the road?
Yep.
It's on what side of the road going up?
Left.
Oh, it is on the left.
Oh,
Yeah,
because
on the hillside.
that's the direction we would want.
So
to
where
go.
is it there?
Oh,
It's, I want to say, right before that gravel driveway.
Okay. We'll have to
Okay,
look at that.
that would be higher, that would be higher than we would need to cut it. It's so that gravel driveway is the easternmost point of the property that would give us property, but it would be down the hill further. It would be down by where that,
Okay, like where ginseng and.
mhm.
that-
yeah,
together.
that pinch point there when
Yeah.
you're going up and down the
So
hill, yeah. Kind of by
Denise,
where ginseng is, yeah.
Is that project number 6 on the active transportation? So I
Um,
printed it off for you, and then page 8 is where they start. for
It's
that.
not 6.
Okay,
It
is it
it's
7?
Fourth Street, Fourth Street.
Street, not
Need to
avenue.
work with, it's number 7,
Okay, it is number 7.
because I
Okay,
put needs to work with Highlands for property.
okay.
Anyway, a lot of my other ones were like around Pearson, mostly around the schools that have some cemetery ones to get kids down, but if you guys could still send in even if there's 5, that would help, I think, for future.
Yeah, I was hoping that's what we do today is go through.
Oh, we can do that.
Yeah, and.
It might take a long time, especially if Scott hasn't, because,
I mean, I'm familiar with all the areas and I'm
Mm.
really familiar with our plant, so I feel like should be okay
Okay.
on
mhm.
this, but there's definitely gonna be some where I'm like, let me get back on that. And I'm still really, like I said, I'm really sorry for not. making
No,
it
that's
on
fine.
Thursday, because this would have been a lot faster if I was there on.
Karen,
Thursday.
what's your favorite one? Do you have one?
Well, of course, anything on cemetery.
Yeah, yeah.
Mhm.
And my priorities would be safety, getting
Mhm.
kids to school.
Right. Yeah,
My biggest one is the intersection on right by River Mill coming out of River Mill Elementary. What is that? Broadway and Broadway and Sixth Street.
oh, Sixth and Broadway, where they want to put the 4-way stop.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cause like there's some mornings like when I'm dropping the kids off and I'm trying to come back this way. Like there'll be like 1 or 2 cars in front of me and I'll look in my rear view and the cars are backed up all the way back to the school,
Mm-hmm.
which is kind of. I think there's kids crossing the crosswalk and then cars are coming down Sixth Street. Like driving fine, but it's just hard to get out and if find a gap to get out of.
When
that
you drop your
intersection.
kids off at River Mill, where do you do that? How, are you in the parking lot or are you on the street?
So,
Where's the drop off point?
so the drop off point is like right in the middle of the school
Mhm,
or in front of the school. But I'll come in through the high school
mhm.
and drop them off on where the bus pickups
Okay.
are and then move back. Coming
That's
back.
how I go out. We drop our daughter at the high school. They have you go out that way, which is why I think that's much more traffic now, because everybody coming from the high school is supposed to go out that way too.
So you go out
But-
8th. That
Yeah, we
road,
go out
yeah.
8.
That's
Yep.
proposed to be one way on here.
Mhm. That's number 42.
And I think that's a great idea. That would be
Yeah.
so simple because no one really ever goes and turns in that way. They're all.
They're all coming out. Yeah. It's kind of.
So from the Estacada High School
garage
to
is
Eighth
that?
Avenue, one way
Uh,
conversion.
8th is that road that people park when they're gonna go watch a baseball game that has parking. by the-
Beside River Mill.
It's River Mills on one side and the apartments are on the other side.
Mhm.
It's a public road, but it really,
Oh, okay,
people
yeah,
really
yeah.
only use it for parking at the high. There's a gate at the one end of
Right, right,
it.
yeah. Like
by
the
River Mill.
mechanic shop and
Mhm.
the gymnasium.
Yeah, they just want to make it a one way, so it's going out, which
Yeah.
most people drive that way anyway.
Way
I'm thinking that,
west.
west, yeah. I'm thinking maybe the River Mill, maybe we should direct people out to the other way, out 10th, because that's gonna be crowded with, even with a 4-way stop, isn't it?
No, because you wouldn't have to wait so long, I don't think, right? Everybody be taking
It
turns.
seems like it would be kind of a little bit of a bottleneck, but at least there'd be some.
Relief
some order
earlier,
to it
yeah,
rather than like, cause like sometimes like, kids will be crossing like you'll have like an opportunity to pull out, but then there will be a kid crossing the crosswalk.
mhm,
And it's like, okay, well, obviously don't hit the kid. But then.
Yeah.
There's just cars,
It's just certain times of the day that it's a problem. right?
Yeah.
It doesn't-
you just, yeah, school hours, really.
and the high school doesn't start at the same time, so you wouldn't necessarily have a lot of people coming from the high school trying to go straight, that the traffic would back up on 6th to Main. And I don't know how many cars would fit in that block.
So our kids go to Redland and there's only a one-way in and one-way out
Mhm.
and dropping the kids off. It's fine when you go back onto Redland and you're heading
Yeah.
towards Oregon City. But if you have to cross traffic like I do coming back to Estacada,
Mhm.
it is absolutely terrible. And they've done zero infrastructure for that. And I mean, it's like, there's gonna be some major accidents. It's
Yeah.
crazy that there's not already. And so I like, thank goodness that we're 1,000 steps in front of them. But I like the idea of like going out 10th. I think that'd be
Mhm.
fantastic. Just make it kind of a one-way direction
Mhm.
and kind of abandon the idea of being able to turn left there at where the
Oh,
parking lot's at.
that's even one more step, to not let people turn left onto Broadway, you mean, coming off 8th?
No.
No,
I'm
no.
saying,
Where?
when you pull through the River Mill parking lot
Okay,
and you come to
You come to
Broadway,
Broadway.
Broadway again, yeah, so that section between that parking lot
Yeah.
entrance and the other entrance of the school would be a one-way as well. Just make all of 8th, where 8th and Broadway hit is still a one-way.
And maybe it could be only for certain hours too. Maybe it's from 8 to 10 and I don't know.
I don't know, that's, yeah, that's complicated.
Where's
I
it
don't
at?
think
Yeah,
you could
let's
make,
keep
you're
going on
saying,
the project,
Uh,
because that probably wouldn't hurt to have a whole study in there, because we've had a request for stop signs at 10th and Broadway, also making that a 3-way
Yeah.
stop. Which may be good. That's kind of an awkward corner to put stop signs in, but that might be maybe there. We might just need to do a whole traffic
Yeah.
study specific.
Did one way through River Mill School, where everybody had to go in, drop off, and then out 10th. That would kind of help the Broadway situation, but would it be worse on Eaglewood?
Yeah.
okay, we better move on.
All right. And they don't make everybody do that. They just really have been strict this year on parents, their directions parents can go. Right, because the other people are driving through and doing whatever they want to do, but the parent drop off, you
Where's
have
the
to,
bus drop off?
for the high school.
No, for River Mill.
For River
If the
Mill?
Parents go in there.
Pretty sure it's
on eight.
eight.
It's,
It used to be on 8.
trying to think, actually, I'm trying to think, the drop off, I know pickup is all along Eighth and then right in front, I think there's 2 or 3 buses in front of the school.
Okay.
So the front is what they want the parent, they're leaving the front really open for parents to drop off.
Yeah, there's a bus lane,
Gotcha.
but then there's like, cause it's like a
It's
two-way.
double lane.
Double
yeah.
lane, so that
Oh, I
the
got, okay.
inside lane is the bus lane. And then the outside lane is the
Mhm.
parent drop off.
Maybe we can work with the school
Mhm.
on
And
this.
I almost feel like it's kind of a school.
Yeah, but it's our issue when they get out to that intersection, because
just-
that intersection is
Yeah.
bad at that time of
Well,
the day.
if we can route traffic
Yeah.
away from 6th and Broadway.
If you're
That
A
should
through
really
M, you
help.
can go out Sixth, and otherwise you have to go out. 10,
Yeah.
Or first through third grade.
Did, at the meeting on Thursday, was there talk about roundabouts much or River Mill?
They didn't really talk about the River Mill roundabout. They talked about the one here for the bridge. That the
Oh.
bridge is, they're suggesting a roundabout.
Big one then.
Yeah,
They said it would work better in situations like evacuations because there's continual motion and you wouldn't have somebody out there. I guess somebody who grabs to go out there and flag and just run people through, not just let the lights do what they do. They think it's better to do a roundabout there, but previously I thought that ODOT had said there's not enough room, but that's pretty big.
it's a huge
Area.
right away right there. Yeah.
Yeah,
You
Um,
took out the island.
Yeah,
Yeah.
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 So they didn't really, but I think when you look at the transportation ones, it does say what they're suggesting for each intersection. And I think there were a couple other. Were there some smaller roundabout? I can't remember.
That the bridge was the only roundabout that I recall.
Mhm. Was there a potential roundabout at Sixth and Wade? Where it's the swooping corner right now by the Shell station? That was, I thought I heard mention of that, but it was not on the list, right? Okay,
Okay, let's stick with the active transportation plan and then we'll move to the. So, did anyone else have any like really, I must have this project type? Well, Scott, why don't you look through them
Okay.
and then get back and especially give input on,
well, they do have it in there.
especially input on if it's gonna be a pain.
Yeah.
To, or at least make them aware, like
Yeah.
they put a cost on to all of these.
Yeah.
So they did actually go out and look, so I'm hoping they saw if there was, because some of them I thought, why is it so much? But maybe it's because of the stuff underground. I don't know.
No one's ever reached out to us, so I'm
Mhm,
sure that's not us on underground.
mhm,
I mean, I think my biggest one for sure is like Karen said, would be safety.
Uh-huh,
safety for
yep.
Kids
Yep.
and sidewalks. Are we done on sidewalks along Shafford and Pierce all the way from Fourth?
Pierce. So Shafford is done. They did all of the whole
Oh,
Shafford. It's
okay.
Pierce, I think on the very end, on this end, there's on the right, on the west side, that there's a few that don't have, but there aren't many walkers there, so,
Yeah, they use Shaftesbury.
yeah.
When everyone uses Broadway
Mhm.
for Zobrist and Wade and all those other streets. And like, I'm thinking like by the mill property. It's like everyone just walks down the Broadway and then goes up that way, because there's no really sidewalks on those either,
Mhm.
on Zobrist. and
No.
Wade.
And Wade is, in the active transportation plan, Wade is they kind of wanted to move the bicycle and the main like bicycle and pedestrian tour to a street that wasn't like Broadway or Main. So they picked Wade because Wade, you can go down and gradually go around the corner and then go down. So that one is in here for improvements on both sides. And, the DEI, which is the diversity group that the city has now. They're always looking at trying to do things in the older neighborhoods, because it's the older neighborhoods, and to me, it's that side of town
Yeah.
is where you're talking.
Yeah.
They don't have you know, sidewalks and curbs. They're sporadic over there because all those places were built before that was a thing. So, you know, there are a couple of those projects in here.
I know for us, our biggest, if you guys had to do something major on Wade, that is gonna be that's not gonna be good.
The Wade uptown, the upside up.
That's our main route for in and out, one of our main ones, but we have a lot of conduit and manholes.
So
and
like
that's our
putting in
manhole.
curbs and sidewalks would
That-
be,
That should be fine.
oh,
But if you go and do, you know,
okay, well, let me
something-
tell you this. So,
significant.
you know, the mill property is rezoned.
Yep,
And, you know, it's supposed to be, if you want to do something, it's like a 10 acre minimum and you need to come in with a master plan. Well, what I see is things happening on Wade first, because it's already so accessible.
Yep.
So there might, I mean, that,
yeah.
what you're saying is that you have stuff, so that would be, because I was even thinking like the school needs, if they need 5 acres for a new grade school, they should approach them. They could do a 5 acres right there off Wade. They wouldn't have to put in roads and because they could access it from Wade. But still, that would be mostly offside of the road. I mean, they might have to make a half street improvement is all, but.
And I think most of our manhole systems are on the east side
Okay,
of Wade.
Okay,
So it
the-
should be,
the west side should be fine
Yeah.
to maybe. Okay.
So how toxic is that property? How much cleanup is there gonna have?
The city did a phase 1 environmental study and it was fine.
Mhm.
And then we were all set to do a phase 2. We had money, we had a grant. And then the property owner said, nope, we don't want any more. And it's like, then we go, well, how much will you sell it? Because they go, we will let the buyer do it. And we go, well, no one's gonna buy it without it.
No.
And well, and so we said, how much do you want for it? Well, they won't say how much they want for it. So it's like just going round and round with,
Well, there's rumors on Facebook, of course. that
Yeah.
It's very toxic.
yeah, I don't know
But
that.
There's
I
no
mean,
evidence,
mm-mm,
no evidence.
mm-mm. No. Have you guys had anything that shows it is?
That shows it's toxic.
Yeah.
No, I think there's maybe a couple specific areas that will
Mhm.
probably need some cleanup. But you know what that means, I don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, like where the logs said on the end that they always put their logs. I heard that there's like, what, 10 feet of just like bark before you hit the, you know, the ground,
It's
you
prime
know.
property.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah.
When they replaced the sewer line through there last year, they
Mhm.
did have to dig down like 25 feet to get to the top of the manhole at one point. So I don't know how
Oh, my God.
it got buried so far, but, and it was dirt and rocks and stuff. I mean, I don't know why it just wasn't extended up or if it had been buried over time. I don't know.
You don't think of that in that scenario when you haven't worked there and or been around there. You don't think about it
Mhm.
building up dirt
Mhm.
and bark and all of that, you know?
Yeah, it seems like it's solid ground, so I don't know,
Yeah.
but yeah, we'll see what happens with it, I guess.
So I had circled 2 projects that you guys felt were priorities so far. One is the project ID number 7, that is the outer 4th Avenue upgrade from Shafford to Bryant. It's on page 9. And then number 42 is the 8th Avenue one-way conversion on page 13. Okay,
And so you guys, number 36 is, this one just popped out to me, is Northwest Second, which is, like, where Northwest Second is from Wade to Broadway. So it would be, that's what runs in front of the grade school. Like where the grade school goes in, that's Second, but it would be from Broadway to Wade, which is towards the mill.
Mhm.
So,
Is that the road that second almost goes right into the cliff, Cliffview? No.
oh, almost, but yeah,
Almost,
not
right? It
quite,
goes-
yeah,
heads towards
yeah.
there, right?
Mhm.
But it is the
But-
one that has the stop sign on Broadway.
Yeah, yeah.
Mhm.
But that one I thought was a good one because it wasn't a lot of money. And a lot of kids do walk that way to get to that side of town. That's where they put the sidewalks in.
Yeah.
So to make safe crossing. So I thought infilling the sidewalks on that portion of the road would get the kids to Clackamas River School safely. And then the next one was the Northeast Fifth, which is up there, that little road that goes like down to, from Shafford down to the
Yep.
the
Here's-
football field.
Yep.
Anyway, Pierce to Oakview, I thought that's a small one too, and that kind of gets people.
Yeah, because kids
through.
probably take that.
And that
they
was a
go
dawn
from-
project, install Sharrows, that's all it, those were.
Where's Shara?
It's a thing that they put on the road that shows you're sharing the road with a bicycle. You're sharing a share, or maybe it's
okay.
Sharrow.
Instead of a share.
Is it a Sharrow or a Sharrow?
I
Yeah.
think it's share.
But there's like a bicycle print on, just on the travel lane of the road that shows bicycles. You're sharing it with bicycles.
Okay.
That's what those are.
I would say Fifth, that Northeast Fifth would be a good
Mhm.
one too, because I'm sure a ton of kids, because you're up on Oakview, aren't you?
Yeah,
Will walk down there to go to like, the middle school.
Mm-hmm.
yeah, because, yeah, there's a lot of kids that walk down
They'll cut that little
that little.
street there.
Yeah,
And I had a highway number 45. It's where Second, where Brent Dodrell lives? That Second comes into where the main entrance of Clackamas River is on Curran. He's on Curran and then, and I thought that intersection upgrade is good because that's where all the kids do meet their parents and it's not really good right now. That was 130,000. Some of these are small, but
My priority, number one, is cutting through Hillway. Making a road, another.
well, they're
road
doing
up.
that. That's this summer, right?
Summer.
That's gonna happen.
this
And
summer.
that will have sidewalks and bike lanes on it. And it'll meet up with Hillway and Campanella,
Yeah.
where they will also paint the bike lanes. They already have sidewalks, but the bike lanes will continue all the way to the highway. And using Hillway, that connector, they'll be able to get to Rivermill because they can take the left on Broadway and the Campanella project and go right to school and
so they're gonna connect cemetery to Campanella.
right, where
Through-
Hillway is now, it's gonna go, it'll be a four-way. It's gonna go straight and through that school property to connect. It's on here, by the way.
Yeah, it's project number 3 on
Yeah.
page 20.
Yeah. So all those kids will be able to, well, actually, all those people will be able to get, but did you guys know you can drive now from Lawrence Road all the way to Deuce Road? Yeah,
Yeah.
do it, because it's really interesting. And there's houses being built along the whole entire
But
way.
you don't go straight to Deuce. You have to.
Oh,
get
no,
off-
you have to go, yeah,
You have to
it's
get
not
into
like
the
it's
Yeah,
about
why not?
us,
Yeah.
but it's
Around the
possible.
airport,
Yeah, it's possible.
Yeah.
So,
You ever
What about-
timed it to
Yeah.
go from like Clayton Drive from there to cemetery?
I haven't because I do really slow because I'm looking at everything.
How long is it?
It's like 7 minutes. Like, It
Mhm.
takes a long time.
It's because it's real, you're
It-
going in and out and.
Well, my fear that, and I think in the master plan, you guys already did this where, because it's gonna be Current Creek, right? Current Creek
Mhm.
Drive,
Yeah.
it's gonna go, that's gonna be the main thoroughfare, right? That goes all the way back to the old
So-
highway.
Uh-huh, uh-huh.
My fear is that it's gonna be put houses on that, especially at the bottom of it.
Yeah.
But I think you guys have it right now where there's gonna be no homes at all on the lower section to get to the old highway.
What do you mean, no home? You mean no access to homes?
Like, exactly, no driveways.
Like there might be a home, but they're all,
Yeah,
they get,
they're
they
all gonna
access,
go
yeah,
to the back of the
yeah,
house. So
because
they-
it
they
is,
can
it's a
park on
minor
that.
collector, so that's probably true.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cause think about all those people, like, when they go to leave, they're gonna use that road.
Mhm.
All the people that are on cemetery, they're either gonna use Hillway. Or they're gonna go down Current Creek.
Yeah,
And go use that road. Well, if you tie it in like Hillway and Campanella, because all the driveways and garages are on Hillway. I mean, that's.
No,
well,
that is
no,
tough.
no, Hillway doesn't have any access from houses either. Maybe one.
Just at the very end, like when you first come into
Yeah.
Campanella from Eagle Creek Road, there's some houses that
On the
fronts
left.
there. But. I'm pretty sure.
Every house on Hillway has a driveway that goes into it on Hillway.
I wanna look.
When you pull into Campanella, because that's Hillway, every house on there has a driveway.
But when you pull into Hillway, you have that divider in the middle, that
Just that
white.
first- Just for 50
Yeah,
feet,
but
100
then
feet.
the other houses are on the side streets, aren't they?
Well, maybe it's only one side. One side of the road has, it has houses.
Maybe you're right on one side, but that road, right? Go in there at any given time. It is full of parked cars.
Huh.
It is full. And it, like, to have another oncoming car.
Yeah, you're right. It
next to
does.
It is bad.
But that one was made wider.
Yeah.
I mean, it is a 60-foot right away.
It's wide enough. And I
yeah.
feel like the one that goes on Current Creek should be even wider because you're gonna have a lot more cars, I think, going on Current Creek. Because people from Faraday Hills are
Yeah.
gonna come there and Dugan Estates, they're all gonna use that
Mhm.
road. Because that's gonna be your easiest route to the main.
Yeah,
highway.
they should, yeah.
Yeah, it's houses all on one side and then no houses on the other side. But-
Yeah, sorry, you're right.
But still, yeah, that would mean people want to park out there.
Uh-huh. And everyone's gonna park across the street.
But
So,
geez, right now, Scott Shafford is a minor collector. Have you been up that lately? You can't, it's for one thing, both ends are the most dangerous intersections to pull out of.
Yeah.
Yeah, 2 days ago, there was all these events at the school. And so everyone was parked up both sides of Shafford. And on the end by the school, if you take a ride onto Shafford, if there's a car at the stop sign, you can't, and there's cars parked on both sides, you have to stop.
Yeah.
Until that car leaves, you can't get in there. There's not enough room.
Yeah.
You know, and that's a collector,
yeah. Well,
but they're gonna hopefully change that, but.
I'm upset that they put in speed bumps on Shafford and now back to the
Oh,
stop sign.
that's so stupid. In 2,200 feet of road, 2,400, there's 3 speed bumps and 3 stop signs.
And one of the stop signs is about a car and a half length from the speed bump.
Yeah, I sat on the speed bump the other day. Yeah,
It just
it's-
doesn't make any sense.
Anyway.
I know that a thing that I would really like the
Mhm.
city to do, and I think Mr. Workington would not agree with me on this, is do some sort of like rubble strips or something at Cemetery. I don't know if they have it in here. I didn't get that part. But something right at the intersection of Cemetery and Sixth Street, because I worry about like kids driving.
You mean people coming down Copeland? Mhm.
Yeah.
So those are really loud. Yeah.
Something.
Yeah.
So Cemetery and Sixth, it says to install, it's on the page 6, it's S1, install eastbound left turn lane. to
Yeah, we
mitigate
want
risk
that,
for
but this
rear
is coming
collisions.
the other way.
Okay,
What was the reason for doing that?
For doing what?
A left turn lane there?
Ralph Branson. Wanted it.
So when you're,
He says it backs up.
It doesn't.
I don't think it backs
No,
up, but
it
you live there. Does it back up?
And there's never been a rear ender.
Mhm.
The only problem you have there is during certain parts of the day, you cannot see cars coming down the hill very
Mhm.
well if the trees are all leafed out.
And especially if they're going fast, coming down Copeland.
Yeah,
which they're probably always going fast.
and that might help that situation. I don't know, because even if you're in a left turn lane, you can stop and look, but you can do that now. Stop and look.
Mm-hmm.
It's not gonna help you to see it any better
Mm-mm.
or keep you from turning in. front of
Rumble
it.
strips would be good. Those people that live right there will hate them, but no, not, I
But
don't
you-
think
you
it would
won't-
go as far as your
Yeah,
house,
you won't
but
hear it.
like where Gary Workington lives. Coming down
There's,
that
I mean,
hill.
really, there's like 2 homes
Yeah, there
it's
is.
that.
It's
It's that.
minimal.
It's
It's
like-
minimal.
versus
Yeah.
slowing people down.
Mhm.
So what I think would be,
Are you getting this?
It's
Rumbles.
it's recording, so.
Okay. Oh,
Yeah,
Or put them closer to the high school where there's like nobody's house right there, just before you get to the high school driveway.
but it's the problem is
Right.
cemetery, the intersection at
Oh, the
cemetery.
cemetery.
Mhm.
Mm.
No.
I don't think you would hear the rumble strips, but maybe.
What
I hear
do
they're loud.
What I do hear is the engines gunning their way up my hill
Mhm.
in front of my house. And that, I don't understand how cars now don't have to keep their sound down by law. Because there's so many cars that live up cemetery that deafen you when they hit the throttle. They're just terrible.
Well, hopefully they'll go on Hill Way a lot now and after this summer. And maybe that'll slow down, make less traffic on
It
cemetery.
might a little bit. I think there's still the problem of having no way out of Cascadia Ridge other than cemetery is a problem.
But now you can go out Lawrence, you can go out
You
Deuce.
can go
Yeah.
to Lawrence.
Mhm.
They can get to Lawrence.
Yes, if you go up to Cascadia Ridge
Mhm.
and just keep going straight and over the hill, you
Yeah.
know how, and then you know how to the left is Curran Creek. If you
Yes.
just keep going to the right,
It
you'll
connects
end
to
up.
Lawrence.
Mhm,
I
mhm.
didn't know that.
Yeah.
Is
And
there-
then
It's
And
not
then if you go
ideal.
left on Curran Creek,
it'll go-
it'll go to Deuce.
It does
It
right
already
now.
does.
Right,
Yeah.
it does, but people aren't using it very much.
No,
because they
I don't
know
think
it's
people
open.
are aware. And there's a lot of construction. You really,
Right,
until
But
that's
that's
done.
good. They needed an
Mhm.
alternate way out of it.
Is the gate still locked on Lawrence?
The one into that phase one is locked. Well, they haven't improved that little part of road. So we're kind of getting off topic here.
Yeah,
but-
we gotta get back on the list. But yeah, there's a gate at one, but if you go around the block,
Uh-huh.
you come to another
Right.
one and there's no gate.
Right, yeah.
But
So
it's
the-
not ideal for people to use that because of that crook down over the creek. It's hard,
That
Not
lady
ideal.
that lives in the property that they really need to make that road big. She was gonna sell and then the sell fell through, but they're still working on it. So hopefully that road will be nice and big that goes out to Lawrence eventually.
and then Lawrence will need to be improved.
And
But come
where's
on,
our-
Chair Carrie, we gotta stay on
Yeah.
task.
Yeah, Lawrence is, Lawrence is in here, but it's a county road, the whole
Right.
thing. And so we
Yeah.
really have to coordinate with the county if we want anything. And they say it's fine. So.
And that's the edge of the UGB,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Mhm.
On the west side of it.
What are the
Yep.
chances of moving that?
The UGB.
Oh.
Oh,
Someday it'll happen, but right now we had the study and there's enough land.
And in that
like
direction, it's not
80%.
likely because it's hard to provide services farther
Yeah,
to the east.
yeah.
But it could go other
It just
directions.
seems like the development is never ending. They just never seem to run out of property.
How about are we still on the active transportation section?
well, they were, the last one was rumble strips on Northeast Sixth and Cemetery.
On Copeland.
Copeland.
Yeah.
Okay, Copeland,
Approaching
just-
cemetery.
Copeland
Yep.
approaching cemetery. Okay.
So you still have time to get your choices in if you want to send them to
Yes.
Elena, so, or
Yeah.
Melanie or whoever.
If,
so.
if you had
Yeah,
others, and then
yeah.
we'll be having a public meeting on May 15th in the evening.
Mhm.
And you're invited to attend that, and then they'll go over this information again. And I'm sure they'll have some kind of voting option, whether it's like little stickies or dots, or I don't know what they're gonna do, but they'll probably have an option for people to go through and pick their priority projects there too.
So if we move to the system connectivity and vehicle capacity projects, that's on page 2020. Do you have that one, you guys?
Yeah, I just
Okay.
printed that one off. It's the
So
black and
here,
white ones.
you can look at mine. One thing that came in the meeting is, and Scott, I kind of wanted your 2 cents on this, is they aren't gonna do anything with Main Street onto 224, except for right here at this corner. Can you do the right turn lane with the new state things sticking out?
think so.
Oh,
I don't know.
okay.
I think they're gonna do a left turn lane. But I don't know.
Oh, I thought they were doing a right turn lane.
No, I thought,
Oh, okay. Anyway, but I thought they would do something about getting out like a turn lane on the highway, because they took it out a few years ago and they said, no, they're gonna leave it. And to me, that's one of with the people pulling out of where Mike's secondhand store was and
Yeah.
people turn,
Mhm.
to me, this is a dangerous intersection, but they don't have anything in here to change that.
Well, I feel like
So-
out of any intersections, then they had on here, accident with pedestrian
Yeah.
and that was one of them, right? Like it was,
Mhm.
most of the accidents was right there.
So
And then-
number 19 on page 23 is that you're talking about that intersection? Those suggestions right there?
To and Main, yeah,
Yeah,
stripe a
yes.
separate southbound right
Right
turn
turn
lane
lane.
on Main. That's it, $75,000.
So you're just gonna make a right lane here. and that's
Yeah.
it, and nothing to do with the intersection. Yeah.
Plus with the people, Jeremy Lovelace, if you're turning left in here and there's someone turning out of Jeremy Lovelace, it's just
Did they talk about making that a one-way? I thought that was a
Uh,
discussion on Loveless was a one-way as well.
It says
I
that
think-
there's some options here, either making it right in, right out movements only, or converting to one-way travel in eastbound direction. There's a few different options in that one.
yeah.
I think
the one way on the eastbound would be great on for that road.
So you can only go eastbound.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You could only go that. So there wouldn't be people pulling out right here. I guess
Mhm.
we didn't talk about that, but I think
Faster and wider versus like, how do they come out here and get to the highway? It'd be, I think, blocking. It seems like every time they go, they always. block
Yeah.
the-
Even to go up Main Street, I think they go to the highway and circle back, like the bus.
yeah,
like the bus.
Yeah.
Oh,
I
yeah.
think we all think that's a great idea.
okay.
The one
So
way,
you're suggesting the converting
Jeremy
Loveless
Lovelace.
to one way. Okay.
Yeah.
And East.
I mean, I don't mind the right turn lane. I do it. People do it anyway, like on their
Split, so,
own.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean, if there's a big line going left and you can fit, I think people do that, but just to stripe a right turn lane would
I don't think the bump out
hurt.
impedes it at all, because if there was a car parked there, it'd be sticking out that far anyway.
Uh-huh. Mhm.
So I don't think that impedes it.
I think
um,
that's a great idea. And I think this is
Mm.
one it's that they could really do right away. Cause it's not a lot of money.
You'd
I
have to
mean,
close that off somehow. how would you close that off?
close what off?
The street? I mean, how would you?
You wouldn't
keep-
close it. You'd have just do
Just
not
signs saying
enter
one way.
signs, one way traffic, you'd.
That'll be
so-
interesting.
you can put a detour up,
Yeah.
put a detour sign right here at Fourth,
Mhm.
detour back around to Broadway for the time being,
Mhm.
for a day, or
Mhm.
however long it takes to be.
Now I would need to get out on that highway to turn left. I go to the light. I don't like to.
Yeah, but this is the truck route.
Mm,
So
That's
you
right.
you don't want all the big delivery trucks turning left on Broadway.
No.
Cars it's a great option for cars to turn left. I turn there and now I go up to I do the next one up because it seems to have less. There's not as much going on, go in there by the car wash.
Yeah. It's just hard to get onto the highway from either way because of all the traffic coming up the 211.
Mhm.
This seems to be pretty steady.
Well, I think number 18 on here with the
Mhm.
stoplight at River Mill and Eagle Creek. I think that should be done. Well, maybe not, sorry.
And that-
Not at River Mill and Eagle Creek, but that should be on the highway.
But River
Turning
Mill
left.
and Eagle Creek stop sign is gonna be done with this next development that's going in. When that Curran Creek goes all the way that comes out right where, there's gonna be a stoplight put in there. The developer is already gonna do that.
At the old
The initial
highway.
talk was a
Yep.
4-way stop. And then that was not sufficient with
Mhm.
the new development that was gonna go in. And so went straight to stoplight.
So there'll be a stoplight there
On the
Yeah.
highway, not
No,
on the
the,
Eagle Creek
On
Highway.
the old
On the
highway.
On
old
the
highway.
old highway
They're gonna
and
put a s-
River Mill Road. There'll be a stoplight.
and no one like want to do a roundabout?
Well,
The
Uh,
It
county
says on
did,
there to put a roundabout.
it
the county
says.
did. They said
Traffic.
it because they're cheaper in the long
Oh,
run.
It does say traffic signal or single
Or-
roundabout.
Yeah, and you don't, with the stoplight, you can get somebody blowing through there at 50 or 60 miles an hour, running the red light and T-boning somebody. Whereas with the roundabout, you don't have that type of an accident happening typically. So that's why they're really preferring roundabouts, but then the rest of us have to get used to how to drive through
I think a
them.
roundabout would be better there.
It's constant flow. I mean,
I
it's,
I like the roundabouts.
I,
So
You
might-
guys are gonna have to really speak up because the opponents to roundabouts are extremely
Oh,
verbal and hostile.
I hate roundabouts.
do
I am
too.
gonna tell you, I absolutely hate them. I can't stand going to Bend. In Australia, every little, there's roundabouts that are square. And there's roundabouts that you can cut through the middle of them. They're so
Wow.
confusing, but,
Uh-huh.
and I hate them, but you know what?
But they
You had to go slow
make sense.
around it, but you got to keep moving.
think
You
the
know,
part too is we're not accustomed to it because we don't have it.
Yeah,
And so once you
yeah.
get accustomed to it, then it's like, no big deal.
I
whatever, it's
still hate
fine.
'em.
I mean, at
Okay.
first, like, I didn't
Off
like
and
them,
on.
but now being around them, I'm like, dude, this is actually, it keeps everything flowing.
yeah.
And it's,
So we would recommend roundabout
Okay,
at that one.
excellent.
Yeah.
Good to know.
There's gonna be a roundabout where?
Amsiger.
Amsiger and the
Yeah.
highway.
Or Amossack
And the
for the old
highway.
folks.
That's really weird.
So is there someone on the city council opposing roundabouts? Okay, that's
Hmm.
what I thought. Okay. And you were exactly right. Someone can blow through a stop sign, but they can't, well, they can blow through a
Mhm.
roundabout, but as
Gonna
Happy
mess
Valley
them
knows,
up.
then you go airborne and you
Yeah.
wreck your car.
Did that happen in Happy Valley?
Yeah,
Well,
I
the only
think-
problem would be was merging into it when there's cars coming around, there could be collisions that.
Yeah.
there's usually not though. I
And if
mean,
they
people
are,
are
they're
going
like-
so
Kind
slow.
of like just side bumps if somebody makes a mistake
And
versus.
it's a much slower speed.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
So less severity in potential accidents.
One thing that we do as a company to try, when we're working in the right of way, to really slow people down, is to make everything much, much tighter.
Mhm.
And we do that by putting cones out and just make instead of having the full length of the road, we'll just neck it down where you can
Mhm.
barely fit your car in there. It's psychologically, people are like, hey, I need to slow down.
I'm gonna hit that cone.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's a cone, right? Here.
yeah.
But I think if we did that on some of these high speed areas. just Shrink it down. We don't need that much road. Like, we don't need to park on it or whatever. If we can just, especially if it's not a truck route where there's no semis or no heavy. Log trucks or we might get some people from the.
And even those, Brent Perry's was he's the chair, I guess, of the Eagle Creek Barton CPO, and he said that they have really long trailers that they haul. We're on the west side somewhere, and he says they have to maneuver through roundabouts and it works.
My hometown of Woodland has you get off I-5 at the last Woodland exit, because that's where the high school is now, and there's like a Walmart, it's like the new, and it's 2 lanes. And they have these huge roundabouts, because all these trucks, the industrial area is right there. They come off and they take those roundabouts and go out to the industrial part, no problem. I mean, they build a roundabout to for that.
I think especially on River Mill. I know that, again, this is gonna affect us. We have a lot of infrastructure there. I don't care, it's fine. If we did a double lane roundabout there, not a
Mhm.
single lane, because if you, with the
Eagle
double
Creek
lane,
River Mill?
Eagle
Or,
Creek and
okay.
River Mill.
They have that on 172nd.
Yeah, this
Exactly,
is
it's
a double
Sunnyside,
lane one.
or,
Yeah.
in Happy Valley, because
Mhm,
if you have that left lane, right, that can only go straight.
mhm.
And then you just, people that are in the right lane, okay, well.
They
you
could turn on
assume
River
that they're
Mill,
gonna
or
turn,
they
or
could
Yeah.
turn on the
Right.
Current Creek, whatever,
Make it a
yeah.
mandatory turn lane,
Mhm,
but I think,
Yeah,
again, once we get accustomed to it.
Yeah.
But I think not a single lane roundabout, but a double lane roundabout would be. Widen that right away. Again. That's gonna affect the company, but I don't care. That is, I think, what's the right thing.
Any other things for
Mm.
now, or what time is it? No, we got a little bit of time.
Yeah.
Unless, yeah, so people can get.
It's a lot of information to just sit down and work your way
So
through.
the next
but-
meeting is an open house, is that what it is?
Yes.
Good.
Yeah, there'll be an open house on May 15th. I think it's 5:30. It'll be here.
And is it the type that you're gonna have boards and people go around, and is that, or is it a talking one?
No, I think it'll be the type with boards. We haven't
Okay.
completely decided on the format, but that was the last thing we were talking about.
So if you're really interested in pushing one of your projects, especially that roundabout, you might want to come and on that board, you could come in 5 minutes and put a sticky and say, this is my number one
Mhm.
So
priority. So-
I'm gonna go through what you guys have said have been your priorities. So one is rumble strips on Copeland approaching cemetery, which I'm assuming attaches to S3 on page 6. So that's your first one.
Oh, yeah, I think so.
Because that one has conducted a speed investigation for westbound traffic approaching
mhm.
cemetery.
Yeah, yeah.
Yes, okay.
Yep.
And then we have on page 9, project number 7. Okay. And then on page 12, both 36 and 37.
Yeah, and like 37 is probably just a dawn project, but that's on my dawn list because it was just putting Sharrows up and it was only 10,000. Those I kind of group, but there's a lot of dawn projects on here. I call them dawn. He's gonna hate. I even put a little smiley face when I sent it because I think we get that $70,000 a year, and I know that sometimes we use it for matching funds or whatever, but from vehicle tax. And I thought a lot of these smaller projects, maybe he could just, make a list and start do as many as he can in 1 year. And then the
Mhm.
next year he does, the rest. And anyway, go ahead,
Okay.
Elena.
42 on the next page, on page 13.
Mhm.
Okay. Then all the way to page 23, 18, and 19.
We didn't hit
knew-
45, was that gonna be?
On the
On page
page
13.
45 or project 45,
Project 45.
current second. Yeah, 45 would be one too which was improving second, so kids walking or biking to school can get to Clackamas River.
This looks like just curb though. Is there actually?
Formalized curb ramps and curb extensions. Maybe they have already all the sidewalks are in along there. From
I don't think so.
this is just curb ramps and stuff at that intersection where kids are,
So if you're
Going
looking
to-
for the sidewalks is number 40. That's sidewalk infill.
40 is the current street from Second to First.
Okay. That would probably
Is that-
be there.
Yeah,
So they put
yeah.
the sidewalks in and then as a separate project, do the ramps. They kind of go
It
hand
would
in
make
hand.
sense to do that at the same time.
Okay, so do you want 40 and 45 then?
Doesn't it make sense to do them both at the same time?
Northeast Second sidewalk infill. is
Yeah.
bound to the
Block,
north.
sidewalk,
But we're talking about northwest.
Are you
Not
talking about
northeast.
northwest?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you said, no,
No.
sorry. You said about
It's
Brent,
north,
talk about
it
Brent
is-
Drive rules could be
Yeah.
northeast, but then you also talked about the one that goes to the west.
right,
On
right.
Second.
Right, that was, what
And
number
this
was
one is
that?
40, yeah, it's 40 and 45 because it's filling in the sidewalks along the street in number 40, and then number 45 is doing the corners.
Yeah.
at the
What does it
intersection.
mean to be led by Estacada School District?
Means the school district is,
Did they want that one? Is that what?
which number are you on?
Number
40?
40? Is it school district property?
Mm,
No?
No,
I don't know then.
huh,
I think So,
Maybe they've agreed to do it.
Yeah.
I don't know. Actually, that's probably a good thing to know because they're not gonna lead a sidewalk project out a block away from their school, I don't think.
Unless they're saying the priority is to be led. So they're saying east side is higher priority. And I'm wondering if the school district decided east side was the higher priority as opposed to
That
the
could
west
be.
side of the road. I don't know.
I don't know,
on
because
that-
I will put a question mark there
The
and ask
ADA
for
ramp-
clarification.
When you cross Second, the
You know,
ADA ramp is on the west side, not
That-
the east
That
side.
number 40 though, I mean, I wanted the intersection improved, which is 40, but Curran Street, there's no, maybe there's traffic when school is on and off, but like, I don't, to make that a priority, because there's no one walking, that it's such a quiet road. You know what I mean?
But if nobody walks, then you wouldn't need the intersection thing.
But the intersection is on Second.
Mhm.
And that's where all the kids do go out to, but then they usually don't continue down Curran. They go
Right.
up the hill to Shafford or the other way to the
Mhm.
thing.
And then we did put in an ADA ramp there on the school side.
Maybe we don't need that one.
45.
Yeah,
Because
Idiot.
45 is probably only really needed if there's sidewalks on,
Curran,
already,
yeah.
'cause
And I
right
don't
now-
think that's a high,
because
So
they
you
just,
wouldn't make that a low
people don't go
priority?
that way.
they walk in the gravel if they're walking
They
down
walk
that
in the street because
the
there's
street,
no
yeah,
traffic
Okay.
Yeah.
There's-
Yeah.
There's sidewalks on both sides of the street
on Curran.
on,
Second,
what street am I on here? On Curran. Between
second.
First.
part of them, right?
First and Second, there's sidewalks the whole route.
Oh,
What?
I'm using Street View here.
I didn't
I'm
think Brent
cheating.
had sidewalks in front of his place.
I think
Wait,
he
hold on.
does. It's the house next to him I didn't think had.
Sorry, it's not on both sides. It's on most sides.
Yeah, yeah.
So
This
on
is
the,
infill. This is
there's,
saying infill.
Actually, it's curb ramps.
But up here, this number 40
Oh, 40.
is
okay, go back.
infilling it
Yeah.
on the east side.
I think it's the west side that,
Yeah,
well, there's one section where there's a tree.
I don't think that's a high
And that's-
priority.
So what I understand is number 45 should be a low priority, not a high priority.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
Okay.
number 40 shouldn't be, yeah.
But
on-
there's no sidewalks on the south side of Second. There's a curb. There's
But
no
they're on the
sidewalk.
side, the kids,
They're
yeah.
On the school
yeah.
side.
Okay.
And we did do that curb cut there for a
Right,
camp just
we
a
did
few
do
years
that.
ago.
And it is nice. It's a big one.
Mhm.
Yeah. Okay, so continue. We
Okay,
just removed some.
are we good in this, in
Yep.
that section? Because then we went all the way to the bottom to numbers 18 and 19,
Yep.
and you had very specific
Mhm,
recommendations there. For 18, you specifically want a roundabout.
mhm.
And then for 19, you specifically wanted to convert Jeremy Lovelace to one-way travel in the eastbound direction.
Yep.
Okay,
And preferably a 2-lane roundabout somehow out there, but
Okay.
we'll let that, this says a single lane, so,
Fire
Yeah.
department have input.
uh-huh, they will.
I wouldn't have a problem with it.
okay.
I think for
2-lane
them
roundabout.
roundabouts are better than stoplights too.
Yeah.
Who would have input, who are you saying?
Fire department.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So Beth hasn't said anything, and I know she's online. Did she have any suggestions or changes?
Hi there. I am not a fan of a 2-lane roundabout. I'm just gonna say that.
Because they don't work or because you don't like to drive through them?
I don't like to drive through them. I could get on board with the roundabout. I'm more of a stop signal person, but I do think the roundabout would keep the traffic flowing through there. I've been on the one on 172nd and I really dislike that because
I hate that one too.
yes, if there's people coming at me and I'm like, which lane should I be in and where are they going? I just feel a one lane
Confusing.
keeps it simple. And then I am a big fan of number 44, which is the stop sign at the school there on Broadway. Is it six? I don't know the name of the road. 6th and Broadway?
Yeah, Sixth and Broadway.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's not.
it's
44.
44 is install all-way placards below each stop sign on Sixth and Main,
Oh, so it's not that.
which is a
road
Dawn
right
project, I call it.
Oh, am
What-
I on the wrong? Oh.
Are
what's
you
46
talking
then?
about at Sixth and Broadway?
Yeah, what's 46?
there. Yeah, that's it,
There it is.
46.
46.
Yeah, so she's for that discussion too.
Yeah. Just because I like risk my life every morning that I try to pull out from there. But I was after our last meeting, after the last meeting, I was kind of thinking like, gosh, how would that back up if there was the stop at Main? And then I don't know if it's an option to like move a stop sign down like by the vets there. So it would just be slowing traffic, but it wouldn't bottleneck in there.
There's
But
no
then if you had
cross.
it there, it might even make it worse of trying to come out of Broadway, but I think we let someone do a study on that traffic.
Yeah, that's a good
Yeah.
idea.
So then the recommendation is 46 to do a traffic study there?
Yeah, because it's probably is only certain times of the day, but they're important times of the day, so.
Mhm.
Okay.
That's what I was worried about with traffic backup to.
I mean, could
Main.
we put a
But
roundabout
probably
there?
Not. No.
Why?
It's probably too small right there. That's not I mean, roundabouts take up more space and so that's why they're more expensive to build. Because you have to acquire right of way.
Well, we have a 60-foot right of way there.
Yeah.
I
we
mean,
could-
is that too small? I don't know.
I don't know. I don't know either.
But if you had a stop sign at, and then turned and then had the roundabout right away, at least it would keep people
Mhm.
moving. I don't know what the 60-foot. I mean, I don't know if that's too small.
Seems small up there, but.
I think it's too small, but I don't know. I'm just guessing.
I think if we recommended they do a traffic study, that would
Yeah,
determine whether that was an
Mhm.
appropriate.
yeah.
You know, where I have a problem there is turning left onto Broadway and having people stopped right there to turn into big gyms.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, I've almost rear-ended people a few times.
So you're trying to turn a left on Broadway and they're on Broadway trying to
And-
turn a left
and
into
they're
Big
stopped
Gems?
Uh-huh.
Yeah,
Turning because there's traffic there. and they
because,
can't make the
because
turn.
that entryway is too close to the
Yeah.
intersection.
Intersection.
Yeah.
That's also changing in here, making them a little farther from the minor and major collectors, which is good.
They could make theirs go out toward the coffee shop instead of right down the one.
Yeah.
I think that might be a safe school funding one too, possibly.
Mhm. I think a lot of these you could get grants from Safe Routes to School because they are concerning school traffic, so. I think
Yeah, 'cause
there'd be
not only
grants
is it-
available.
Not only is it, hard to get out there in a car, but like there's a lot of kids that I see like cars just fly right by them when they're standing at the crosswalk.
Mhm. Mhm.
One alternative would just be put the flashing pedestrian crossing signs there. So that
Yeah.
it's easier for pedestrians, but
Mhm.
it doesn't help the flow of the traffic. if you're
But in the
vehicle.
meantime, you could put that, do
Mhm.
that or something.
And then move them elsewhere
Mhm.
later or something.
Yeah.
And I don't know if there's anything on lighting in there, but in the winter months, like it's really dark in the morning there.
Yeah.
There's a bunch of poles there that put lights on.
Mhm.
And there's one street light pole on the northwest corner. You do a kitty corner of that to increase light.
Yeah, PGE is pretty good at doing that when you call them.
Yeah.
We've done a couple.
Yeah.
River Mill Road and the highway was one
That
that we
was a
got
big
put in.
deal. That was so
That
nice.
light
to have
out
that.
there, you know how when you used to try to turn left on River Mill from the highway, how
Mhm.
dark it was, you could never see.
Oh, yeah.
Melanie and I called PGE and had that light
After
that lit
Ralph,
up and
Ralph bugged us about it for quite a
It-
while.
it's so much
And then we
better.
figured out how to do it and we're like,
Yeah,
wow, we can put lights anywhere we want now. you know how to do it.
We did it on Lake Shore.
Mhm.
Yeah. We have to pay what, $9 a month for each light we put
Yeah.
up. but-
Yeah. Thinking those roundabouts and Beth, that you don't like the 2-lane ones. I think it's the difference between soccer players and volleyball players. Because the volleyball players, they like the stop lights and stop signs because then it's really structured. You stay in your spot, you know, when you go, you do your, and the soccer players are just like, let me in the roundabout. I'll find my way through there.
That seems right on target.
Yeah, but
Just,
that's from.
But
here
it's
to here,
hard
and
for
that's
us
the
folks
road
who want to
we're
stay in our spot,
here
you know,
here.
to try to
How much,
navigate
you
around
know,
those
where you
things.
stay there.
Right.
That's the, that would be the,
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay, do you guys want to make a motion to have these as your official recommendation?
Are we recommending them to? The planning, who sees it first?
It's gonna go to, it'll
council.
go, well, it'll go to the project consultant, and they will incorporate those in the notes, and then it'll go to the council.
Yeah, I move to make these our recommendations for now.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Can I say I with a caveat?
Yep.
Would be concerned with the rumble strips. I don't know if we can do a noise study or
Yeah.
We did
I mean, those are gonna
discuss
be-
that they're very loud.
yeah, those are gonna be, I mean, I think even just how they're gonna carry through that whole canyon there, would be interesting if we could determine that.
Maybe
Mhm.
make a note that they'd like to recommend that, but they do,
Other, we would,
Yeah.
yeah.
they're concerned about
second that.
Yeah,
noise.
agree.
Yeah.
Like, I think
Okay.
just some way to slow traffic down,
I
really.
just
is
don't
that-
know. what-
Yeah.
I think like rubble strips is like a very simple, easy way of doing it. It's not
Mhm.
always the best, but something that would, like we said, maybe make it narrower instead of, Ralph wanted it wider.
Those little storm drain things that you hit if you're too close to the edge of the road, those slow me down a little
Yeah.
bit. Coming down that
Those are
hill.
terrible.
Yeah.
A lot of the trucks coming down there use their Jake brakes anyway. And then you're gonna slow them down more. They'll be
You know.
more apt to use them.
You know, how some streets have the little things in the middle.
Oh, yeah.
And that acts like kind of, because
Yeah.
you got, oh gosh, you got to.
Yeah, exactly. If you put that on the east side of the
Uh-huh.
intersection
Uh-huh,
of just like a little hazard. sign or
yeah,
whatever.
yeah,
That's a great idea.
something.
Mhm.
Okay, does anyone have any reports or comments? Nope. Okay, I think meeting is adjourned.
Think about putting our little speed light,
Well,
There.
they've done that.
oh, at that spot.
Well, they've done it right around the corner when you first, because you have to have a pole to put it on.
Thank you, Beth.
We're adjourned. We're just talking now.
Yeah, thank you. Bye-bye, guys.
Bye.
Bye, Beth.